Now, we all know southern fried chicken, but in America, they also like to do chicken fried beef. It is an absolute standout dish. You'll need some beautiful beef steaks, just like these. Now, these are called minute steaks. They're super versatile and easy to cook because they're really thin. Now, you can get them thinly sliced like this already, or the other option is slice it yourself. Now, you can use some sirloin or some rump steak for this recipe. And you can see there's also not too much fat on this, again, because it's all about flash frying and cooking it quite fast. Now, before we get onto the batter station, let's get some oil heating up. So in a large pan, some vegetable oil. We just want to coat the base of the pan, so be quite generous with it. And now onto the flours. Now here I've got some corn flour. In another bowl we'll need 1 egg, and just like you do for chicken, you've got some egg and buttermilk. And this is the glue to it all. Grab yourself a fork and give that a really good mix. I also like to add a good pinch of salt to the liquid and give that a really good mix. And then finally, the flour. So this is just your regular plain flour, and we're going to boost this up with lots of spices. So I have a combination of chili, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and baking powder. And that's going to give us that really distinct, almost shaggy look on these gorgeous chicken fried steaks. So we'll just give that a good stir. I like to use my hands because you can distribute those spices evenly. Great. Shake that off. Also a good pinch of salt. All right, let's start with 1 steak at a time. We'll place it into the corn flour, and you just want to really lightly coat that. Shake the excess off. Straight into our buttermilk, coating both sides, and then that goes directly into our flour. And we're going to coat that, and you can be quite rough with it here because what we want are these clusters of buttermilk and flour, and that is going to give us the most delicious crust on the steak. Now that that's hot, we're going to add our beef. We're going to cook that for about a minute on each side. Super, super easy. We'll take that out, continue cooking a few more. We're going to serve it with a delicious sauce. Chicken fried steaks are out of the pan. Look how delicious this coating is. It's so good. Do drain it on some paper toweling. And now I'm going to serve this with just a very simple sauce, but don't throw away all that flour. We want to thicken up this sauce. So just add about a teaspoon or so into the pan. I have also drained most of the oil away, and the reason I do that is because you don't want it to be too oily. You do need a little bit of oil there though to get this sauce going, and you'll see that thicken up just like a roux. And once that starts to toast off, it's time to add some beef stock, and we'll add a small amount to start with. Stir that in. You don't want to add it all at once because we'll get lumps. We don't want lumps at all. Then you can be a little more generous with it, and you see this gorgeous gravy start to form. And I've intentionally left some of the coating in here because that's just like an extra delight in the gravy. We'll keep adding that. And once that starts to come back up to the boil, I'll add some Worcestershire sauce. I love the flavour of the Worcestershire sauce in this because it gives it an extra savoury flavour, and also it does deepen the colour of that gravy. Ooh, it's looking good. It's still a little too thin to my liking, so I'm just going to gently bubble that away for a few minutes while I prepare a salad to go with this. So you could use cabbage, just a classic coleslaw, or you could use some fennel. I like the fennel because of that aniseed flavour. So I have reserved a little more of that buttermilk. We're just going to add a splash into our bowl, along with a pinch of salt and some extra virgin olive oil. And just to give it a little hint of sweetness, just like a coleslaw, I'm going to add some sugar, and we need some zing, so some lemon juice. Squeeze that straight in there, and we'll just give that a quick whisk. Now, if you wanted to make this a lighter sauce, you could just leave out the buttermilk, but I really like that creamy component to it. Okay, some dill. Look how fresh this dill is. I only need a few sprigs of it because it can be overpowering. So a small amount, and then roughly chop it into our dressing, along with our finely shaved fennel. And like I said, you could use cabbage, but another great option would be some raw zucchini. Very nice, very crunchy, perfect with the beef. And a little carrot. Grab a spoon and a fork, and we'll give it all a really good toss. And that's a really lovely salad to go with this. All right, let's plate this up. Grab one of these chicken fried steaks, and we'll just place that on one side of the plate. And then our lovely fennel slaw, place that on the side. And then this delicious gravy. Have a look how thick and golden it is. And see all those little bits of coating? They're my favourite bits. So I'm gonna add them to the top. Just let it drizzle on the sides. And that right there is chicken fried beef steaks. So good. I would serve that with a cold beer on a Friday night. Just the absolute best.